Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers mod showcase video. Now for today's video we're doing something slightly different and we're going to return to one of my very first mods I ever did on a showcase video, and that is the Gamebreaking Giant Drill. But it's had a little makeover and it has been changed. There she is, standing proud and tall, and has been changed to the Unstable Drilling Platform. That is the new name, and it has been altered quite significantly because I have recently uploaded it to the Steam Workshop, so I wanted to make sure everything was in fully working order. So last time in the video there were some major problems with this drill, such as the actual drilling extension of the pistons would eventually lead to the game crashing because the game didn't know what to do. And then of course the Space Engineers update came, which fixed the pistons, but that also broke the whole drilling platform, so I had to resort to something else. And after a few days ago, someone reminded me that I didn't actually upload it to the Steam Workshop and put a link, so I finished it off and uploaded it all nice. So what has changed? Well, I put a little platform here. It has little aesthetic little steps, so I can come up here, walk all the way up here, and we got a nice load of buttons, a control panel, such as on this panel. If I bring up the menu, we have the power, which turns the thing on and off. So let's turn it on right now. There you go. You can see the batteries over there has powered on, so the station is all working. We then of course have the drills, which can be turned on and off. Yes, that will wobble around a little bit, not much I can do about that. I will talk about that in just a second, however. So over here we have the landing gear with unlock and unlock, which is the little feet all around here. So when you spawn it in, you won't be able to get it perfectly level, and if you make a mistake, this whole thing is going to tip over. So you will need to unlock the landing gear and let itself level out before locking it again. Otherwise the whole drill thing will not drill straight into the ground, if that makes sense. So that's there. It will wobble around a bit when you unlock it, but don't worry, it will settle down eventually. And then of course we got the piston or reverse, which is if you want to just break this whole structure. And along this side is how you control the pistons. Now each one of these buttons controls 3 pistons. Yes, I know it sounds like a lot of work, but it's simply to stop it from breaking or crashing the game. Last time I believe I did 4 to 5 pistons at one time, and that was a little bit too much for the actual drill head to cope with. And if you launch them all at the same time, of course it will just break the structure like I just said. A few people have mentioned using a timer block to use it. However, I find that time block is not really that useful in this instance, because it's generally a good idea to launch them one at a time and see how the drill thing is heading up, because you can't really control where the drill is going, so it could go off in a massive distance. So if you do it a little bit at a time, you can then let the drill head settle down and continue drilling down when you're happy with the level. And of course on my other videos and even on the Steam Workshop, people have mentioned that perhaps I should put thrusters on the drill head in order to keep the thing balanced. Well, I did have a version of it with thrusters on it. I believe it was this version, which was the stable. So this loads in. Is that one of them? Yeah, that's the one. So if I just rotate this around like that, you can just about see in there. If I rotate it, where this little line is on there, underneath there is a gyroscope followed by some thrusters. I'm trying to angle it without spawning it in because I don't want to go over the block limit. And you can see there on the top right hand corner, there is a thruster in there. However, when I spawned it in, and when you try and drill, it caused the whole head just to go absolute bananas. And it would just swing around hitting into the legs for no reason whatsoever. Even if you turned it off and turned it back on again, it would not retain balance. So I decided to opt out of having thrusters on top of it and just put in some more drill heads. And where the gyroscope was, I decided to put connector in there. So finally, which was something that was in my previous design in the video, which was there was 3 containers up here, but they weren't actually connected because they were like little pipes coming down here, which I was going to plan to put the drill heads, but of course that would never work because when the piston extends, the conveyors would simply break. But now everything is fully connected through the drills. It comes up through the middle here into that connector and across into this main container. Now there are 2 other containers there because this thing will dig up a hell of a lot. There is a connector here if you want to put some uranium into it, if you want to power the reactors, which I'll go around to in a second. And of course, if you want to pull stuff out into a ship and somewhere else. Up here is a small little cargo container if you want to drop stuff in manually. And around here we have the reactors. There are only 4 reactors on here because it doesn't really take that much power. It's mainly the drills which are doing everything. So if you need backup power, or if you want to just use the batteries as backup powers, because there are about 30 batteries on this thing, you can have these little reactors here for you to use all nicely. Other than that, up here we got a little glass so we can look down. Originally I did have, if I can hop up here, a little control panel over here, which was going to control everything from up here, so you could just look down through the glass in the floor and see what you're doing. However, I did change the design, which was in the previous video, so you control everything from down here, and up here is just a little decoration bit for if you want some friends to stand up here. You could like turn this into a base if you want, like shove a little turret on here, some beacons and all that. So let's head all the way down to the bottom. I believe I've covered most of the things. So that's all connected up all there. I did add some heavy armor blocks onto this central point here, which does generally keep the drill steady when it's going down. It will veer off a little bit, but it's about the best it can do. I will mention now that there are of course better drill mods on the workshop. There's even like proper mods, like non-vanilla mods, which you can use, like the I think it's like the automatic beam drill, which is far more superior to this if you can power it. But for what this was made for, me and my friend wanted to make a base underground by digging out a massive square area. It gets the job done. So let's start it up, shall we, and make a little drill going down. So on goes the drills, and piston 1 is going to extend. And you can see it is wobbling around. If you do have block destruction turned on, these little supports all the way up here will break. So that is something to watch out for. When you spawn it in as well, you'll need to spawn in creative or with block destruction turned off, because otherwise it will break itself, because its head swings around quite violently when it first spawns in. So there we go, it is turning a little bit, but once it actually gets that full drill head into the ground, it will stop turning around a lot and will start drilling pretty damn straight. But it does get the job done. So once that keeps going down, yep, there she goes. I'll extend a few more once this was done. And this is the kind of thing that I put on the workshop in the little description. Let the pistons finish before activating another one, otherwise it will completely break. Okay, so that's the first set of pistons done, and it is relatively squared down here. And you can see that's all pretty damn good actually, considering there is no way to actually physically balance the object. So if I activate piston number 2, it should continue drilling on down. So we've collected a ton of ice, we've collected a ton of stone. It's collecting a fair amount of stuff in one go. Now there's no resources here, so it's only just going to collect stone and ice. That's all it's going to collect. Is it still going down? No, it appears to have stopped. So I'm now going to retract all these. So we went to number 3, number 2, and number 1. Like so. And hopefully it can pull itself all the way out of the hole without damaging the blocks. But here she comes. She is rubbing up against side, so it might get damaged, the drill heads. I have left the drill heads on as it's coming up, just in case it needs to like take off an edge when it's coming up, like it missed a little bit as it was going down. So it should relatively be okay. I'm going to turn the drills off right now. There we go. That should help stable this as it's coming up. So here comes the drill head. It's all lovely in one piece. One thing I did forget to mention is you have to have this drilling platform on a flat surface. If it's uneven, then you're in for a bad time. You can, if you really wanted to, is attach atmospheric thrusters onto the side of these legs and up the sides here, and have it so you can have a movable platform. That would work fully as long as the actual platform is stable in the air when you're drilling down. So here we are. That's now going to bob up and down. Let's just go all the way down into this little tunnel. Look at that lovely texture. And I'd say that is relatively straight. Relatively, you could easily build a little base down into the ground like this. So yeah, that is the unstable drilling platform. It'll be in the description below. It'll be in the description of my previous video on this mod. And I'll be back with another mod showcase video some point soon. Bye bye.